Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day and the Irish, true crime style of course, and discuss Irish cases. Fun fact, I'm a quarter Irish on my mum's side. My name, Bridget, is Irish, and I'm named after my nan. So I'm blonde, left-handed, and Irish. I get all the jokes. Okay, let's get started. Rachel O'Reilly, who I'm going to refer to as Rachel Calais for the rest of the video as her parents wish us to use her maiden name. She was a 30-year-old mother of two boys, Luke and Adam. She was married to Joe O'Reilly and they lived in North Dublin. On October 4th, 2002, Rose Calais, her mother, found the badly beaten body of her daughter in the bedroom of her home. She had been killed using a dumbbell. The first thoughts was that this was a burglary that had gone wrong. However, the red flags rose soon after to show Rachel's murderer was not a stranger at all. Rose told The Guardian, "I was in too much shock to even consider who may have done it. In the beginning, my heart would break for him," meaning O'Reilly. "I remember the day Rachel was buried. The police said to him that they wanted to come to the house the following day to identify what was missing in the burglary. The day after the funeral, he went and we spoke to him that evening and he said he felt a great peace being in that house. He asked us if we wanted to go." O'Reilly, who stands at a whopping 6'5", invited Rose and Jim Calais over to the home and he reenacted the murder scene. He said, "He brought us up to the bedroom and said, 'She was lying there, you know, whoever done this. It was battering her on the back of the head like this.' He even got down on his knees and started doing it. And then he must have done it like this," he said. "There was blood spattered all around the walls and up on the ceiling. It was like being in an abattoir. And I said, 'Jesus, this is terrible.' We were sitting there and he looked around at us and saw that we were so disturbed. His eyes started dancing around in his head. His eyes were bouncing and I said to myself, 'We're with a madman. He's pure evil.'" In fact, he had shown many family and friends a reenactment and a guided tour of where blood was at throughout the house, as we heard in trial. Denise Calais, Rachel's sister-in-law, recalled the following. "He was commenting on the blood spatters, the blood on the ground. He kind of stepped over her towards where the bathroom was. He had his fist still clenched tightly, pointing to spots of blood on the ground, saying it came from the weapon. Then he said they would have heard her moaning and then he left the bathroom. He got down on one knee again and he struck again with his fist on the ground and he said they came back to finish her off." O'Reilly was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. On March 1st of this year, it was reported that O'Reilly will be eligible to apply for parole next month, after having served the minimum 7 years of his sentence. The Calais family believed that this man, prisoner number 42807, is a danger to the community and should be behind bars for the rest of his life. Shockingly, he still maintains his innocence. On the 6th of March 1997, Sylvia Shields, 59, and Mary Callan, 61, patients of St Brendan's Psychiatric Hospital in Grangegorman, Dublin, were found murdered. The details of what had happened to the women were horrific. In fact, the level of mutilation had never before been seen in Ireland. Shields and Callan were found having been repeatedly stabbed, their throats had been cut, and their genitals were extensively mutilated. At the time, it was reported to be one of the most brutal murders in Irish criminal history. Enter 24-year-old Dean Lyons. At the time, Lyons was staying at a local hostel. When police interviewed him, he broke down and admitted to the killing, saying that he was in withdrawals from drugs. At this point, you're probably thinking the story ends with him being tried and convicted for these murders. But wait, there's more. Police began to have doubts about the confession when Lyons got a lot of information wrong. It was discovered that he was very suggestive and susceptible to leading questions. Lyons had been charged with the murders and had been in jail for 9 months. However, the charges were dropped. Mark Nash had been convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the Roscommon murders in October 1998. Police believed he was the man who killed Shields and Callan. Given that he was already in prison for life, there wasn't a sense of urgency to bring charges against him, so they waited until DNA tests came back. In July 2009, it is proven that the victim's blood was on one of Nash's jackets. He was charged with the murders of the women. In March 2015, Nash was put on trial for the murders of Sylvia Shields and Mary Callan. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The murder of Elaine O'Hara, a 36-year-old childcare worker from Changanga, Dublin, was classified as one of the most shocking crimes in Irish history. On August 22, 2012, O'Hara was reported missing after being seen last at a cemetery crying whilst visiting her mother's grave. O'Hara's phone and purse were left at her home, however she was seen leaving her home with a different phone. The general belief after Elaine went missing was that she had died by suicide due to her extensive mental health history. Elaine was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and depression. She was hospitalised for psychiatric care from her teen onwards as a result. Beginning on August 21, 2013, a local resident who regularly walked the area with her dog had her dog come back from a little wander with bones. At first, the resident thought they might be animal bones, but on September 13th, the dog brought back clothing which concerned the resident. They contacted the landowner, who then discovered a rib and a jawbone. The bones belonged to Elaine O'Hara. She was identified by dental records. Sadly, only 65% of her body was found. During the investigation, the police discovered that O'Hara had visited an adult fetish website called alt.com under the username helpmelearn36-f. She had viewed the profile of user Architect72, associated with the email account Fetish Boy. It was linked to Graham Dwyer, an architect who was married with kids. O'Hara and Dwyer embarked on an online relationship through prepaid phones. Here's some of the recovered messages that were sent. Warning. Dwyer says, "I want to stick my knife in flesh while I am sexually aroused. I would like to stab a girl to death sometime." He also says, "My urge to rape, stab, or kill is huge. You have to help me control or satisfy it. I feel sick." Police were able to obtain a search warrant for Dwyer's home, where more evidence was found. He denied knowing O'Hara, but that was refuted with security footage of him in her apartment and semen in her bed. Shockingly, at trial, violent homemade sex tapes were shown. The tapes from 2007 and 2008 showed Dwyer stabbing O'Hara in the stomach during sex. Other evidence they presented included email exchanged with women Dwyer met online with videos about rape and murder fantasies, documents found in his hard drive about having sex with a corpse, and a fantasy piece entitled Jenny's First Rape. The prosecution believed Dwyer used O'Hara's mental health history against her to get her to do what he wanted. They believe he lured her into the cemetery to kill her, knowing people may believe it was a suicide given her history. Sadly, it was revealed that O'Hara wasn't interested in any of these violent acts. She just wanted companionship, love, and a child. Graham Dwyer was found guilty by a jury unanimously and sentenced to life in prison. Dwyer, aka the creepiest, most disgusting man ever, is appealing this. In fact, in December of last year, he won legal action against police and the Irish state in relation to the mobile data presented in his case. This means that he will be granted the appeal. There isn't any date set yet. I'll bring you more info when it comes to light in the lineup. A cold case now, and it's the horrific and bizarre murder of a baby boy who was named Baby John. On April 14th, 1984, a baby boy washed up on the shore of the White Strand. He had been stabbed several times. Another baby was found on a farm in the North Kerry. This then became known as the Kerry's babies case. A woman, Joanne Hayes, was known to be pregnant at the time. When questioned, she admitted that the baby on the farm was hers, she had given birth, and that the baby had died hours later. The family wanted to keep it a secret, so they buried the baby on the farm. The police had ridiculously alleged that the woman had somehow gotten pregnant by two different men and given birth to one and killed him on the beach. Both babies had different blood types, and the baby on the beach didn't match hers. Hayes was charged with the murders, however the charges were thrown out by the judge. On the 16th of January 2018, Joanne Hayes was officially confirmed to not be the mother of the baby, now named Baby John. The police and Minister for Justice both issued apologies to this poor woman. This case is actively being investigated at the moment, and I truly hope some answers are found. Our final case today is known as the case of the Scissor Sisters. In March 2005, the Scissor Sisters, Linda, 30, and Charlotte, 21, are infamous for murdering and dismembering their mother's boyfriend, Farah Noor. Noor, 38, was killed with a Stanley knife by Charlotte, and Linda used a hammer. This happened after a fight with their mother, Kathleen Mulhall. Noor's head and penis were removed, and his corpse was dismembered and dumped into Dublin's Royal Canal. It was discovered that Linda, Charlotte, Kathleen and Noor had all been drinking and taking ecstasy together. Noor made a sexual pass at Linda. Kathleen screamed at the girls to kill him, and they did. In December 2005, Linda and Charlotte Mulhall were charged with the murder of Noor. Kathleen moved to England, and sadly their father John died by suicide. Charlotte was sentenced to life in prison, whilst Linda received 15 years for manslaughter. In 2008, Kathleen returned to Ireland to face charges of concealing evidence and cleaning the crime scene. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Noor's head and penis have never been found. January of 2018, Linda was released from prison and moved in with her prison guard boyfriend, who she met at, you guessed it, prison. Wow, there are some shocking crimes in Ireland, and that's only 5 of them. Do you know of any other Irish cases? Leave them in the comments below. Just quickly, I'd love some feedback on the sound of my videos. I'm just using the computer audio, and I just want to see if you guys think that that's okay for a little while. Just because I'd love to get a fancy microphone, but I don't have the budget for that right now. Let me know how it is in the comments. Also, I've decided on a weekly upload schedule. Sundays we'll do the Sunday Spotlight, which is a new case each week. Wednesdays we'll do Chronic Illness Club Live, and Fridays we'll do the lineup. Sometimes the Sunday Spotlight or the lineup might be live, just to mix it up a little bit. I hope you like that schedule. Being chronically ill, I really need to find a healthy balance to ensure that I'm not pushing myself too much. I'm doing all of these videos just for fun. My channel's not going to be monetized, so I don't want to burn out too quickly. Some weeks I might feel a lot better and add in a couple of extra lives or extra videos anyway. But that's the new schedule. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye for now.